Welcome back. We've been at sea for just over a week now, and so far our Atlantic passage has been going pretty smoothly. We've had pretty light winds, but the spinnaker has kept us at a good speed, and everything's felt relaxed and under control. So yesterday when we were sailing, as that's the only thing that we've been doing since a week ago, our van kicking strap broke again. So I don't know if for some of you that might have followed us might know that we've had issues with this for a while. We've repaired our van once already, and then we recently got rid of it altogether because it broke again, and we replaced it with a kicking strap. But the kicking strap has also decided to basically pull out the metal D-ring that was holding it down. When we're sailing downwind, the boom gets kind of lifted up, and so just that force, even if we loosen it, that force is just too strong and it just keeps breaking. If anyone has any tips out there, then yeah, let us know. Kicking strap is just loose now. Day 8 has just come to an end now. It's about 7 o'clock and we're just gonna wind down for the day. Jonas is gonna go to bed because his shift is at 11 o'clock, 11 to 3, and I pretty much go to bed soon after, probably around 7 or 8, and get up for my 3 a.m. shift, 3 till 7. Lars has got the 7 till 11 shift, so he sleeps throughout the night and then picks up again at 7 a.m. after me, which works well because as the captain he can be on the day rolling into night shifts, or night rolling into day, where there's some light, so we can do sail changes and things together and think about the setup for the night ahead. And then yeah, if they're wind shifted in the night and we don't want to make any sail changes or anything in the night, when he's on watch at 7 a.m, a couple of us can help out, and we can do what needs to be done to change the sail plan. It's a beautiful evening. It's so warm. I mean, you can tell that we are getting closer. I mean, not that we're still like halfway, but it's just really warm. So just as we were going to bed, the wind picked up and there's too much wind for the spinnaker, so we've got to take it down. And now we've got to do like a bazillion amount of sail changes. Got to pull the spinnaker down, bring the head sail in, take it off the pole, and then come downwind a little bit. We're going to pole out the staysail and the head sail and do double head sail again.
Whenever you're ready, Alex.
Hey! Wow, that was hard.
Yeah, that was tells you we needed to refit.
Yeah.
You can feel like you have this responsibility. Alright, it's coming down. Just clip on first. Yep. Nice one. Is that this one? Yeah, this one.
New sail setup. Hopefully this will be good. We're doing 6.9 knots. Ooh. Hopefully it lasts. There's a 4-hour time difference between Cape Verde and the Caribbean. We decided to change the clocks roughly every 500 nautical miles. This kept the sunsets and sunrises more or less at the same points in our shift schedule, which was designed with that in mind. The most exciting thing that happened that day was the fact that we made it past the halfway point. Halfway felt like a pretty big milestone, but on the other hand, it was also a reminder of the fact that we still had some way to go, 1,100 nautical miles to be precise. Mentally though, something had to be said for the fact that we were no longer getting further away from land anymore. From that point onwards, we were only getting closer. That morning, we had pure adrenaline for breakfast. Not from storms, lightning, or wildlife, but from a nerve-wracking attempt to fly the drone whilst underway. I'm sure for some people it's not too wild, but we're not practiced enough to do that casually. Also, after already having crashed and lost a drone in Mallorca, Lars gets PTSD symptoms every time he flies it. You forget how far away you are from everything until you see it from a different perspective. The horizon gives you no real references and is actually quite close, so in a strange way you feel like you're not too far out, and combined with the scenery not changing, it makes you forget just how huge the ocean is. That illusion is completely broken with a bird's eye view perspective on Navika, slowly making her way across never-ending blue in all directions. It was all going great until landing, which was more like a controlled collision with the boom. We were both happy though that we actually got the drone back, so we saw it as a win. Hello, we're on day 11 now. Just chilling out down below having a nap, and then I went up on deck and saw that there were loads of clouds in front of us. Turned on the radar and could see that there was some squalls ahead, and at the same time got a message from our weather guy saying you're heading straight into a big line of clouds. So we changed course and we're just riding the squall wind now, which is really nice. So we're on a beam reach and doing about 6 knots and feels kind of nice. I mean, obviously we're on a lean again, so got to get used to that. But other than that, it's pretty cool. We needed a bit of a change of mood because everything was just, it was so warm earlier today. There was no wind at all, and we were just kind of like, our minds were becoming soup. So feeling good again.
Hello, hello. This feels more like sailing, doesn't it?
Yeah, finally.
Actually, some wind.
It was a weird feeling to be sailing closer to the wind after 11 days of sailing downwind. It felt like a bit of a hack to be riding the wind from the edge of a squall, something that we'd been seeing as quite annoying before, turning into a fun experience. We even had a pod of dolphins come to escort us.
That was insane! Oh my goodness! On fire!
In the end, we were able to sail like this for a good 3 hours. Just trying to dodge some squalls at the moment. We've turned on the radar just as soon as the night fell. We've got quite a few squalls around us. I'm not sure how we're going to be able to avoid them. So here you go. We've got one up here. This one here that's really close, this one coming out behind, and we're just trying to figure out which direction they're going, but we seem to be moving at the same speed as them, so it's a bit difficult to get past them. And I'm just defrosting some food, the first of the frozen meals.
8 knots, 8.5 knots.
Really?
Well, we've got the squall behind us pushing us along.
Oh wow. Is it a bit wet?
No rain for now.
Okay, cool. Cloudy, cloudy, cloudy. Oh, now we're getting that wind from this one, right?
Yeah, exactly. We keep having to come up on the course, but then it's pointing us towards this other squall.
At night, we would use a red head torch to avoid losing our night vision, and we would sometimes hear noises coming from the deck. It turns out quite a lot of flying fish would come and land on the boat mid-flight, and we'd hear them flapping about on deck. When we'd hear it, we tried to get to them in time to be able to help them back into the sea, but sometimes we'd get there a bit too late. So I've been sat here on watch, and I just got hit by a flying fish. I freaked out so much, I was like, what the hell is that? And then I was like, so confused for a second that my phone hit me because it was really hard, and I could just feel this flapping next to me, but it's pitch black and I can't see anything. So I rushed down and get Lars, and he's just come to my rescue. Managed to put the fish back in the sea again, and yeah, now I just need to relax again after that moment of adrenaline at 4 a.m. My jumper smells now, and the cockpit kind of smells as well. Every morning at first light, we download our messages and the latest weather reports from Predict Wind on our Iridium Go satellite phone. That morning, we even spotted the first boat that we'd seen since leaving Cape Verde on the AIS. After so long at sea, our universe had shrunk to 11 floating meters, and we'd gotten used to life on the move. Surprisingly, we hadn't really gotten that bored yet. There always seemed to be things to be doing between sailing the boat, making food, hanging out, reading, journaling, playing cards, cleaning up, sleeping. I think it's partly because we allowed the little activities and tasks to take up more space. Since there was no real rush, it was nice to have things to do. It was an opportunity to enjoy the process of making food, chat leisurely about inconsequential things, take time to write, read and reflect. That might sound a bit dull, but a quick look around was an immediate reality check of how remote we really were, and we would get more than our fair share of adrenaline when squalls would hit, or we'd zoom out too far on the chart to see our tiny dot in the middle of nowhere. Over 1,000 miles from shore. probably best not to think about it too much. So when things were chilled out, we were pretty glad to make the most of it. It's the end of the day. Just had some dal and rice, some coriander chutney. My grandpa's favourite. If you're watching, Grandpa, I love ya. It's been a long day. So the wind arrived, then the swell arrived. We were excited for the wind to arrive because it means that we go faster. But at what cost? We are rolling around a lot. So the whole day has felt like it's been really long because we haven't really been able to like settle. Like our minds haven't been able to settle. And we're kind of like, let's just get there. We still have like 4 or 5 days left, so we should probably rein it in a bit. I think after we've not had very much wind for the whole trip, now that we have wind, we're like, let's just go for it. We're going to set the lee cloths up because we can't sleep in the bow. Last night one of us slept here and the other slept here, but we're going to rig this lee cloth as well so that we can sleep better. And guess what? The squalls come back at night. Hopefully we don't have too many. Last night we had quite a few, but we managed to dodge them all, so it's an art. It's an art.
This morning we were thinking about our sailing strategy for the next few days. Because with the increased swell, as you can see, the boat's like all over the place. That means is much less comfortable. So, I mean, you got two options. Either you just keep going straight. The reason it's going so all over the place is because the wind's behind us. There's nothing stopping you from rolling. So one strategy would be to turn a little bit to the wind and sort of zigzag the destination. And it would be way more comfortable. But Alex has totally vetoed that option. She has a need for speed, this girl. And we are going straight to destination. And it doesn't matter how uncomfortable we all are. Poor Jonas is seasick, he can't even come down below. But Alex doesn't care. We're going straight to Martinique. Fair enough, fair enough. So that's what's happening. We're flying downwind. To be fair, we're going pretty fast. A little swell has arrived. Great day. New opportunities for entertainment. See the fun we can have.
Even if it was uncomfortable, the plus side of increased wind meant that we did our first 150-mile day, averaging above 6 knots for 24 hours, without even a single sail change all day.
We just heard the radio go off and we're just eavesdropping on a conversation. I can't see the boats, and it's the first noise that we've heard on the VHF since leaving, except for one brief sound.
French.
They're talking about like pancakes that are really good. Talking about the swell. Pretty big swell this morning, but now it's chilling out. It's going pretty well now. They're just shooting the ship basically.
I love it.
Yeah, we should find them on the AAS.
Yeah, let's try and look. The increased swell gave a very different feel to the passage. Moving around would take deliberate concentration, and you would think twice about opening a cupboard for more than a few seconds. The extra movement also does something to your mind. Things get a bit hazy and dull. It's harder to relax and the lethargy sets in. Also, sitting or lying down become your only real options, so it's quite hard to shake off that feeling. I'm spending my day checking out how many miles are left and then dividing that by our average speed and seeing how many days it's going to take us. I've done that about 10 times today.
You have a problem.
Oh, I really have got a problem.
It's called impatience.
Yeah, I'm very impatient. I think I've always heard that the last third of the trip is always the hardest because you just feel like getting there. Still some time, but hopefully I don't lose my mind before then. Wow. You said 20 knots. 13 knots. Until now, it's as if we hadn't been trying to get anywhere, but instead focusing on the routine of life on board and enjoying the chilled out sailing. That day, the switch flipped and we could all feel the readiness to arrive and an expectation of being almost there. It's a dangerous shift in mindset because we still had 4 or 5 days to go, which would feel extra long if we were counting down every mile. It's the end of day 15, so yeah, officially 2 weeks at sea. We have another 2 days and a bit left. It's going to be really weird to get in. On one hand, I think we're going to be like, oh my gosh, we've done it. And then on the other hand, it's probably going to feel like there's a bit of a void. This passage has been really lovely. I was so nervous that I was going to feel I just didn't know how I was going to feel out here. I didn't know if I was going to feel anxious and stressed out and, you know, almost have like panic attacks from just not being able to leave, feeling trapped. I don't really get that when we're at sea on the boat anyway, but it's just, there's something about being so far out, something about being so far out mentally, and also just not being able to leave if you wanted to. Like, you're in it for the long haul and you don't really have a choice. You can't just jump ship, right? I felt really good, pretty grounded, really at home. The sea state has been really nice, so I think maybe that's partly a big factor compared to the trip that we had down from the Canaries to Cape Verde, which was really intense on the nervous system. Like, I felt like I couldn't ever get a break from that. So yeah, this has felt really good. It's been really nice to have a third person as well. I think both of us having COVID before leaving made us feel a little bit apprehensive about just going the two of us, especially because we weren't feeling 100%, and you know, we just felt like it was maybe a good idea to have extra support. So Jonas coming out last minute was really random but awesome, and it's been really nice to have an extra person on the boat as well, and yeah, socially just have someone else to talk to and have help. Like, at the moment they're both putting up the spinnaker and I'm talking to you, so I honestly couldn't have wished for a better passage. It's been beautiful. I mean, obviously the wind's been a little weird and we haven't had as much as we thought we would have, but then at the same time it's meant that we've had really chilled out sailing, so you know, you win some, you lose some. Navika's been a real trooper. You gain an extra confidence on the boat once you've done something like this, and it's taken a lot of prep. I mean, we've prepped the boat for the past 2 years pretty much for this, so it's going to feel really strange to not be prepping the boat for an ocean passage anymore.
Never thought our legs that fast could move.
The last couple of days, the swell calmed down enough for us to be able to be active again and enjoy the passage. We tried to soak in the last hours on board, living in our little bubble that we'd created, floating on the ocean. It's a strange feeling knowing that we'd be arriving in a couple of days' time. Our minds were turning to projecting to our arrival more, and we were feeling a mixture of excitement but also a little sadness at the prospect of our passage life being over. This was a big milestone coming to an end.
This passage has like been already pretty much everything I wanted from an Atlantic passage, I think. So I've had loads of awesome night watches, just chilling, looking at the stars. We went for a swim, we've had some good sailing, we've made loads of great food, I've read a lot, witnessed a lot of sunrises and sunsets, and been out in the middle of nowhere, and we've had squalls and calm days and loads of dolphins several times. That's how spoiled we are. But now I'm starting to get ready to get there, and I'm excited for the next phase of this whole trip. It's like a new beginning. It reminds me of when we first set off and crossed over to Corsica from Antibes, and that was like the big deal back then. You know, we'd been preparing the boat to cross to Corsica, and it was a 24-hour passage, and it just felt like we were leaving and arriving in a completely new place, and it felt so huge, and it was for us, and this is just kind of a continuation of that, I guess, but much bigger and much further, and in some ways way a lot more exciting. Yeah, looking forward to it. See land. I can actually see Martinique ahead of us. It's 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30. Check it out.
I just saw land! Wow! Oh, it's been so long!
How do you feel about arriving?
I feel actually really excited. There was a part of me that felt like, oh, maybe I'll miss passage life, but I don't think I will. I'm excited to move my body again, excited to swim, I'm excited for a coffee. Haven't had a coffee in like 2 weeks, over 2 weeks. Oh my god, it's been a while. Yeah, I'm just excited to be in like a whole other part of the world. Want a pizza, want a glass of wine, want a rum punch, lots of different beverages. Hopefully we can celebrate with some of our other friends who have also done the passage. And if not, well, we'll just celebrate the two of us. 3 of us, even.
It's going to be weird to enter life again. Like, being out here has been so simple in a way. And I think engineering something like this, where you have such a clear, straightforward definition of what you need to do every day, is pretty hard to come by. Often, there's no uncertainty out here. All you have to do is get up, feed yourself, stay safe, sail the boat, make progress, read. And it helps, I don't know, feels good.
That was it. We'd crossed the Atlantic Ocean. It took us 17 days and 2 hours to sail 2,250 nautical miles, which is about 4,160 kilometers. We sailed at an average speed of 5.5 knots, which we were pretty happy with considering the light winds we had. We broke 2 pulleys, saw 100,000 stars, baked 7 sourdough loaves of bread, 3 cakes, caught 1 fish, found 20 flying fish on deck, dodged 8 squalls, saw 5 boats, and had 1 dip, and best of all, 0 vomiting.
Can't believe it! Look how beautiful it is!
We made it! Like, high five!
Yeah, girl. Woo! How do you feel, Jonas?
Quite amazing. To step on land and not shake anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Wow. High five. Thanks so much for all your help.
What a journey. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks for the spontaneous yes. Now it's just a tiny moment later and we're here.
Yeah.
Feels like no time has passed.
It's weird, isn't it?
Ah, it's so cool. We can see the ground. Time to hoist the flags.
We made our way into an anchorage in the south of Martinique called Sainte-Anne. Some of our friends, Jesse and Jan from Adhara, arrived a few days earlier, so they jumped in their dinghy to welcome us and escorted us into the anchorage.
Here we go.
The dip that we've all been waiting for. Awesome.
Yeah.
It's so warm.
Wow. So we just got in the dinghy and there's all these like barnacles or shells or some kind of animals living on the back of the boat, but they're nowhere else except for the stern. It's really weird.
They definitely weren't there when we left because we scrubbed the boat when we left, so we picked those up
Mid-Atlantic.
mid-Atlantic. Yeah.
We took the dinghy into shore to clear into the country. In Martinique, this involves going to a side room at the back of a bar and paying €3 to enter the country. The easiest process of all the Caribbean islands.
Celebration.
This is like the best thing we could have landed on.
So good, isn't it?
Then we treated ourselves to a bucket, which is a Guadeloupean sandwich made with fried bread, and this place made some of the best. That evening, we headed to the beach to meet up with some other boat friends who had also recently completed the passage for a little celebration and catch up.
We're in the Caribbean. And we sailed here, and our home is just over there somewhere.
Wow, what an experience. We're so grateful to all the help we've received along the way. Every bit of advice from fellow cruisers, spare parts offered freely by total strangers, and words of encouragement from friends and family like you guys following along the way. Thank you so much. If you enjoy following our journey and would like to support us, then give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Join us next time as we enjoy being on land and start to explore the Caribbean.